Hello, Merry Christmas seasons, greetings, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Winter Solstice. Now, before Christmas was all about, Christ, it was about paganism. Before it was about paganism, it would have just been some sort of cosmic event, some seasonal thing, some solstice, shortness of days. But there seems to be some magic about Christmas that has always been present. We all accept now, don't we? We're scarce gonna quibble with it, that it is a festival of commercialisation.
Cool. What a year.
There is no naughty list. Absolutely unforgettable.
Here are the Christmas carols of our time. Here are the scriptures of the world we live in. Let's have a look at a collection of Christmas adverts and see what we can see in there. This year's Coca-Cola advert is a spectacle. What's fascinating about it, if you ask me, is that Coca-Cola has again been named the world's worst plastic polluter.
Researchers say they counted almost 12,000 pieces of plastic produced by Coca-Cola in 37 nations. That's more than double the runner-up Nestle.
And yet, in their advert, they use a kind of nicked from the movie Interstellar dystopic hero, father and daughter family dynamic to depict that most mobilizing of human forces, love. But instead of love, Coke. Okay, so the little daughter is saying to her dad, go and deliver this to Father Christmas. Now, I've got daughters. The last thing I need is the old heartstrings yanked at in this kind of fashion when I'm trying to get out of the house to go to my oil rig. Also note that it's not an oil rig, but some sort of aquatic wind farm. This is again what is interesting. The reality of Coca-Cola, world's worst plastic polluter that actively tries to prevent and lobbies against legislation that would make them financially responsible for their pollution. And then in their Christmas advert, it's a bloke working at some sort of aquatic wind farm. Then a whale knocks him out his boat, naturally it does. Here we're moving into Moby Dick territory, which you'll know I'll love banging on about, saying that Moby Dick is sort of like a creation of the unconscious forces, certainly in Melville's original version. In this repurposed thing, what's the whale up to? I mean, what he might be doing is complaining about the level of plastic pollution in the sea. Like, why go to all that trouble to make such a brilliant commercial in order to sell a brown sugary drink? All that ingenuity, the brilliant people that have worked on this commercial, the brilliant directors, the fantastic cinematography, the beautiful design, great storytelling, lovely music, all to sell a brown sugary drink. I suppose that's the nature of advertising, isn't it? It sort of accesses the psychic force within us and then connects that psychic force to the product. But the idea that Coca-Cola can bolt itself on to Christmas, and I'm not talking about Christian Christmas, I'm not even talking about pagan Christmas, I'm talking about the idea of joy. What is being expressed really? The philosopher and botanist Terence McKenna says all of the imagery around Christmas could be understood as a shamanic interpretation of some experiences with that red and white mushroom. In his thesis, he postulates, Terence McKenna, that Father Christmas, Santa Claus, is a bearded shaman who flies through the sky at winter solstice, administering joy and presents made by elves. Anyone who's taken DMT will say that elves are one of the key archetypes or figures of that experience, and that reindeers who eat the mushrooms, and in the form of their urine the mushroom is even stronger. Terence McKenna argues that all of this Christmas iconography is entering our consciousness from the realm of psychedelic shamanic experience. He believes, Terence McKenna, that our unconscious mind is giving us information, same as Jung believes, same as Campbell believes, same as any perennialist believes, that there are psychic themes that continually emerge. And if something plays a great role in our culture, even if it's presented in the form of commodity and commercialization, it's passing through the psyche of a human being, it's passing through human consciousness. It is at some level an expression of something deeper. Even if it is a cultural conglomeration, still within it is truth, particularly when, as McKenna points out, every single one of the motifs is in accordance with this rather beautiful shamanic principle. This is a animated McDonald's world, a single family scenario. Let's have a look at how McDonald's is going to alter this dynamic.
Sitting in a sandpit, life is a short.
What's interesting, I suppose, in both the case of the Coca-Cola and McDonald's commercial is that what's being appealed to are very truthful and innate parts of being human. The fragility of youth, the pain of growing up, the joy of family, the integrity of love, the absolute certainty that love is everything. But to conjure this powerful psychic and emotional energy in order to simply sell products, in both cases, which are very, very bad for you. They're bad for you. They're not good for you. To go to all this trouble to sell, kale juice would be sort of mad and ridiculous. But to sell sugar and salt and fat that has verifiable, identifiable, detrimental environmental impact is sort of laughable, risible, and it tells you an important truth about the system that we live in. It lies to you. It harnesses that in you that is real in order to sell you products. That's an abusive relationship.
Smile a little daydream.
Merry Christmas. It's time for an acoustic cover of a well-known song sung in that sort of wobbly way, to conjure up all sorts of needless, unnecessary emotions that can be grafted onto a product that you don't need, that won't help you. It's Christmas. Again, sort of really brilliant craftsmanship and artistry and ingenuity. The creators involved in this, really, really gifted people, beautiful animation. And again, the spirit that is being evoked is magic, that this is a time of creativity and wonder, seasonal change. The days are lengthening, things are magical and peculiar. But all of this, again, evoked this reach within, beyond the mundane and the everyday, in order to achieve what? Together, of course, we can make a big difference. The message is absolutely truthful. The creativity is wonderful, and people will tell you, won't they, that John Lewis does something like gives shares to its workers or some wonderful gesture or another. But like Jesus Christ, it's time to get serious, isn't it? It's time to get serious about the environment. It's time to get serious about social fragmentation. It's time to get serious about the problems that are facing us in this pandemic, not to retreat into mindless sentimentality and pastiche, a kind of snug, Christmassy idiocy. What I would say again and again is the values that are being appealed to are the right values. The intentions are the wrong intentions, continually, consistently. So I suppose what we can take from it is that Christmas does have something magical in it. The idea that this is a time of mystery and magic and change, that all of us can feel, as well as deep melancholia, sadness, loneliness, isolation. I've had some bleak and dreadful Christmases in rehab and on my own in various circumstances. But that is, of course, itself only enhanced because there is a sense of festivity elsewhere. I suppose what I am saying to you is consumerism has something real in it. And the gifted and brightest and best among us are working in these industries and finding ways to sell these products, and with no mendacity in them, not out of cruelty, but simply because that's the way our system is. Recognise, though, that these feelings are real, this spirit is real, but the way that this energy is being directed is incorrect and is part of the problem. That being said, the very fact that these things are so effective means that certain energies can be conjured and redirected. So in that spirit, I say to you, Merry Christmas, season's greetings, Happy December, Happy Hanukkah, Diwali, whatever it is you're into, whatever way you receive divinity, or even love if divinity is not your thing. Here, have some of it, today of all days.